Hello, good morning. I am Megan with Everybody Yoga with Megan, and today's practice I have been kind of ruminating on evolution and how we don't even realize every day the tools we have that give us the life we live. So one of the books I'm reading right now talks about the sclera, the white of the eye that humans have, and how this attribute evolved over time so we could communicate without talking. You could see where someone was looking. So if you were hunting, right, you could kind of signal without saying a word. No other species has this opportunity, right? There are a little bit of white like in your dog's eye, but the majority of what you see for most breeds are the dark circle, right? Like a dark pupil. So anyways, I just think about like how many times in my life I have signaled about something or someone or communicated with my eyes, and the message was not only received, but then there was a response. And I can't help but think that our energy does the exact same thing. So as we come into knowing ourselves and our tools, we can live a really different life. So how many times do you have a bad day and your energy is just, it's stuck in that low vibe, and like attracts like. So the day when everything goes wrong, because in a way we're attracting that. We've lowered our vibe and we're attracting it. Some people say the universe is not that responsive. I honestly think the universe is pretty responsive to low vibes. I think it's as we are vibing higher and doing the work to get more to a Christ consciousness or more to a love consciousness that the universe is slower to respond, because that's a big shift for most humans, right? But coming in, guns a-blazing, Monday sucks, my coffee spilled in my car, I almost rear-ended someone, like, blah, blah, blah. That's real easy to just like attracts like. So I don't know, so today I want you to notice all the times you communicate with your eyes, and then become aware of your energy throughout the day. I have always been told I have big energy, and as a child it felt really unfair that like my dance teacher thought I needed to do something differently than the other kids because, well, I had big energy. Like, it's not my fault that I don't have any fucking energy, but I'm growing to learn that it's not about fault, right? Anyways, so take responsibility for your energy today and just see if something terrible is happening, and I know many of you personally, so I know that real life is happening, and I am not dismissing that pain, but if you can hold space for the trauma as an independent object, and allow the rest of your day to exist, it's like a scale, right? The world loves balance. So allow the trauma you're going through, right? Trying to get pregnant, having surgeries, wanting to be married, all of these things that we aren't looking for jobs. I'm not trying to pinpoint it, it's just these are the emails I'm getting, right? Let that hold over here. Hold space for that. And then let everything else ebb and flow, right? You woke up a little late, that's okay. That's not the end of the day. Someone yelled at you at work, that's okay. That's about them, not you. And just let that balance of life happen. But again, holding space for what's real and what's hurting you and what's a roadblock. But holding space is different than letting it impact your entire day and make you feel crummy and crappy. And I've been talking too long. So let's get started in Child's Pose. Today's practice, we're going to work on transitions. And that's because I want us to transition from just having these tools to being aware of them and using them. Yes? Yes. All right, settle into your breath. Maybe I should invite you to Child's Pose before we start each time so you could be nice and relaxed. So let's just make a commitment that if you're part of my ongoing programming, just start in Child's Pose. Very rarely do we start elsewhere. We're gonna come up into tabletop. Pay attention to your transition. Press your weight forward. Hands become active as you walk your knees underneath you and then release the pressure from the hands underneath the shoulders. Pause here. Take the elbows and spin them in and out. Keep a gentle bend. We don't want to hyperextend anything. I feel like, for Holly, my roommate, she has some hyperextended joints. So her work is working on a small spin, whereas most of us need to work on a bigger spin. Pause here. Now we'll come into cow-cat. Belly down. Inhale, look up. To transition into our cat pose, pull the belly in first. Let the chin tuck. Exhale. Coming into your cow, belly drops, shoulders articulate, chin and tailbone lift. Inhale. Again. Inhale. Last time. Come to a neutral spine, pause here. Tuck your toes, pick your knees up. We're just gonna hold this for a couple of breaths. And then release. We're gonna do it 2 more times. So this is activating the core for our transition to downward facing dog. Inhale up. And back down. You've got 1 more time. You figure out, right? Some people can't lift the knees up. Maybe you lift 1 knee up, maybe you lift 2. Maybe this is super easy for you and you pull up and in. Hear the change. Knees are gonna straighten. Feet roll closer to the ground. You're taking a short stance down dog here. Now, transitioning into your normal stance down dog. Begin to pedal out the legs. Press up onto the balls of your feet. Pull your tailbone higher, chest back to the thighs. Bend your knees. The chest is still reaching for the thighs. Look at your feet. Try to step 1 big step. Feet to hands, halfway lift. Pause. So our halfway lift really is considered a transition pose, even though it's its own yoga pose. But as we get to flowing quickly, getting into this pose is a quick process. So it feels like a transition, ragdoll. Inhale, rise up, arms come overhead, pause. Cactus your arms, take a small back bend. Inhale, back up. So notice in the inhale, this is a transition, right? We're going from a C in the spine, from a flexion, bend the knees, pull the pelvis under, the shoulders naturally come into alignment by correcting the pelvis, then the arms just lift. Coming into your forward fold, taking a swan dive, so the tailbone leads in that instance, and then the spine falls like water over the legs. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, pause. high push-up. Pause. Transition to your low push-up. Shift the weight of the body forward to lower down. Inhale, lift up the chest. Cobra. Tap your forehead down, tuck your toes, send your pelvis up and back. Down dog. Now we work on our transitions. Bring your feet to touch each other at the back of the mat. Low lunge, right leg steps forward, left knee drops down. Press the weight of the body forward. Listen for the transition. Back toes are tucked. If they're not, retuck them. Inhale, lift the knee, arms lift, crescent. Downward facing dog. Left leg forward, low lunge. We're not staying super long, so if you have really sensitive knees, don't worry, or you can fold your mat over or pause real quick and go grab a towel. Getting ready for the transition into crescent. Pressing the weight of the body into the ground with the left leg to lift the right knee. Downward facing dog. Stay here for 2 cycles of breath. Right leg forward, warrior 2. Take the time to chill out here. We're going to come to extended side angle. So you're going to lean forward, tilt the body down, twist, look up. So we're going to take a transition here into triangle. Nothing changes. Front knee is the only thing that straightens. You're still reaching your torso far away. Downward facing dog. This is a good pose to have blocks for. Left leg, warrior 2. So the blocks will help bring the ground to you if reaching for the ground is too far. Now, yes, when we're transitioning, it might not be like the easiest way to get in the pose to get this full expression, blah, 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 blah. But you can, I'm showing transitioning. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Extended side angle. So we're reaching, tilting, lifting. Triangle. So you're going to straighten the left leg, but you're still pulling the torso away. Downward facing dog. You've got 2 more breaths. Coming on to your knees. We're going to come into a camel pose. Hands start at the back, so like you're putting your hands in pockets. Elbows come together. Hips come forward. Gentle tuck of the chin. Breathe. Rise back up. Tuck your toes if they're not already. So when we're in this variation, it's much more similar to bridge pose. Coming up. Hands are reaching for the heels. Oh dear God, I don't think I can do this anymore. Fuck. Y'all, this is bad form. Whew. Stay in it. Rise back up, come onto your back, because we are going to come into a bridge, right? These variations. Pause here. When I say pause, I really mean exhale, settle. Inhale, lift up. Working your arms so your fingers can touch your heels. Maybe they grab around your ankles. And release. Take your arms to a T or a goalpost. Bend the knees so you're at a 90-degree angle. And twist. Coming back to the center. Set up for the other side. Pretty sure our trash truck is here. So sorry if you can hear all the ruckus. Coming back to the center. Center yourself on your mat. Put both hands down by your side so you can feel where the mat is. And then take your arms about 6 inches wider and let the palms face up. If you feel like your shoulders are really kind of close to the ears, pick up your arm bone and set it back down. You want to allow the scapula to rotate and flatten. Then bring the legs out. And go ahead and windshield wiper the toes side to side for just a few breaths. And you might notice that the hips kind of wiggle with that, and that's perfect. And as you feel ready, come into stillness. making your way to a fetal position on either side. And press yourself up to a simple seat. Just allow a moment for you to acknowledge all of the tools, both known and unknown, that we have available to us to cultivate our lives. Inhale your hands to heart center. And take a deep exhale out. Together we say, Namaste. Thank you, my yogis. I hope you have a great day. And of course, like, subscribe, follow, all the things.